Hey, this is Laura with Boots and Baddies, and today we have Dennis Jordan, and you drove all the way from...
Murfreesboro.
Okay, but you're from...
I was born in Illinois.
But you've been here in Tennessee...
Since 1979.
Okay, that's like...
Yeah, I'm a Tennessean.
It's before I was even born.
Right, so we're not going to talk about that, though.
Yeah, so I was creeping your Facebook page,
Okay.
and I saw you went to Normandy, and I thought maybe it was like overseas, but there's like a Normandy.
Tennessee, huh?
And then the Hustle Recovery.
Hustle Recovery in Action City.
And Housing Alliance, Teen Challenge. You are going everywhere.
I'm going everywhere because I think it needs to be said everywhere.
What needs to be said?
The drug addiction on our youth, not just the youth. When you go to these places to speak, you find out it's not youth. There's people my age that the carnal side of me wants to say, "What are you doing?" We didn't grow up with that stuff.
No.
But I get it. It's so addicting. It just takes everybody over.
And you're speaking more specifically about opioids, right?
Opioids, yes.
And you had a personal experience.
Right. We lost a daughter in 2019 of opioids. She started off with opioids and then turned into heroin, and it got laced with fentanyl, and that's what took her life.
So was she prescribed an opioid?
Right. She had surgery and in high school. I'm not going to get into years because I don't know exactly the year, but in high school she had a surgery on her foot, and they put her on Oxycontin. Okay. And that's where our problem started.
So she was an athlete, I think.
Athlete, yeah. If you go to Cannon County High School, her number softball was retired.
Wow.
She was a great athlete. Had some college scholarships. She could went places. Now, as her dad, I will tell you today, I probably burned her out. She didn't want to go to college. We played so much softball when she was little. But I just always tell people, when you have a good player and you know she's good, you want to play her. You want her to play because that was her comfort zone. That's where she got, And I've gotten where I think this, or I say this. I do think it, or I wouldn't say it. I think some people, I will speak for Shelby, she had so much limelight in high school on softball, basketball. Better softball player than basketball player, but when you get out of high school, that starism is over.
Yeah.
And you don't know how to deal with not being, there's a void in her life now that she used to be recognized, and she's not there anymore.
She had that identity.
Right. That's who she was. Everybody knew she was that. So I don't.
Maybe that's what.
I'm not saying that was her biggest fault. I'm just saying I think it could contribute to that.
Yeah.
She wanted to always be recognized. Almost to an effect of, I think some addicts think, I got to do something to get attention. I have to do something to get attention. I'm not saying that's on everybody. I'm not saying that's always Shelby. I'm just saying I can see where that can be a problem with that.
Well, so she gets prescribed Oxy, and you're thinking, well, this is a prescription. This is from a doctor. This is from someone who's trying to help her.
Yeah, and I will tell you, when Shelby broke her right big toe, she'd be playing ball, and I'd tell my wife, she's not running, something's wrong. And she would say, Dad, my toe hurts. And so we would, like every parent would do, take them, get x-rays, no, nothing. And Shelby's big toe was broke a long way, so when she stepped, it would just break every time she stepped. Of course, when you run, it's a little more aggressive. And so we had surgery done to put screws in her toe, and they put her on Oxycontin. At the time, I don't know anything about any drug. I'm just assuming the doctor gave it to her. There was no saying. He knows what he's doing? Yeah, he knows what he's doing. He don't give us, me and Rachel, a warning saying, hey, this could be addictive. Hey, this could be. I don't know anything about that stuff. And
so she's a child, and she trusts a doctor, and the doctor's giving her medicine. And how long till she showed? Did you notice any?
No, and that's one of them deals where you're like, you've heard their stories for years. When look, your kids get on drugs, their grades go down, their personality. That did not happen with Shelby. She graduated with 4.0. You know what I'm saying? She was a great student.
Yeah.
So that never happened. Now she gives some attitude. At that time, I'm thinking, it's just a teenage girl.
Yeah.
Not really a big deal. I mean, she wasn't hateful by any means, just different. You know what I mean? But she's growing up, and I just kind of contributed to that. How we caught it was, and I say this, we have 3 children, Lauren, Shelby, and Ryan in that order. Lauren is our oldest daughter. When I married my wife, Rachel, Lauren was a year old. So Lauren don't know life without me, and I don't remember life without Lauren. She's my daughter. I just treat her as such. I love her as much as that. Anyway, so Shelby was my firstborn, and I loved her. And I always told all three of our kids, tell me the truth. No matter what happens, tell me the truth and we can deal with that forward. If you're lying, I can't deal with lies. I don't know what I'm talking about. And of all three of them, Shelby was probably the most bold and the most honest and the most, and I'd helped coach football there and I'd helped coach softball at high school. And I'd had some elbow surgery and they gave me Oxycontin. Still don't know anything about it. I took one on the way home and I took one the next morning. And I put them in the medicine cabinet, didn't worry about it. Until we figured out Shelby may have a problem. And Rachel went and checked my bottle and it was empty.
Yeah.
So now then the problem is when you have a kid tell you the truth, and then you catch a lie, now you have to start backtracking. When did this start? You know what I'm saying? And it's hard for me to sit there and tell you a timetable. I don't really remember because it's all a fog to me, but I just think that was our start point when we figured it out. Wait a minute. So
there's lying, there's stealing.
Yeah, here we go, the lying, the stealing.
Her typical personality.
Not who she was. I mean, she was,
So she graduates high school, 4.0,
Yep.
star athlete.
Yep. And there's sarcasm in our house, and that's just who we are as people. My wife, our three kids, our grandkids are sarcastic. Anyway, it's just who we are, and we have fun with each other. So Shelby's born December 28th of 92. And I tell people, one of the greatest days of my life. The thing is when Shelby would start using and stuff, we figured it out, and I would start questioning things. I would start, especially when I called her in the lie, I have to start questioning. I have to ask questions about things I knew in the past. Well, what about this? Well, what about that? Now, I think some lies, were still told, but I'm getting more keen to what she's saying. And so we get a phone call saying Shelby's carrying pills, so we check her, and I said, look, I'm gonna check her room while she's in school. I'll check the room. And I did. When she comes home, I check her car, and I find a marijuana joint. And so I do like every other parent would probably do. I sit her down and try to talk to her. Me and my wife sat her down and try to talk to her. And the thing about Shelby is, watch what you ask her, because she's gonna tell you the truth. And she was so bold, and she was so, and part of me liked that about her. I like, be aggressive. But I said, Shel, what are we doing? Look, I said the same lines that everybody's heard. That's a great way drug. I was just telling her what I heard. I didn't know anything about drugs. I'm just telling you what I've heard. And I asked her, I said, Shel, what are you doing? And she hit me with the truth. I like it. I didn't know how to respond.
Yeah.
As a 37-year-old dad at this time, I don't know how to respond to her. I'm like, I don't know what to say.
So she was taking oxy.
Yeah, oxy.
And smoking
and I think
marijuana.
things are getting more, oxy, marijuana. Look, I was expecting when I found the marijuana joint, Dad, it ain't mine, I'm carrying it. So that's what I was expecting a lie.
No,
At this time,
she was like, no, I like it.
Yeah, and she did, and I'm like, oh. To this day, I don't know what I said to her. I don't even know what I said. I don't know what my answer was. Because in my mind, without talking, I'm like, well, she was honest. How do I respond to that?
Yeah.
Without sounding like, oh, okay,
And she'd be 33 now, right?
She would be 33 now. Yep.
Wow.
30, our kids are 30, Lauren will be 36 next week, and Ryan will be 30 in February. So they're all 3 years apart. And they all three had the same rules in the house.
Yeah.
When Lauren was a senior and Ryan was in 8th grade, all three of them had cell phones. 9 o'clock every school night, has to come down, put on the kitchen counter, charge her. And I tell people, Lauren and Ryan wasn't a problem. Shelby, it seemed like it was every night we had to talk. Shelby, bring your phone down, bring your phone down. It was just, that's who she was.
Yeah.
She had to push the envelope. As her dad, part of me liked that. I did. I liked her
kind of
sticking
pushing
up
the
for herself.
limits.
Just push. Hey, don't let nobody run over you. Lauren's the same way. I've raised our daughters. They be independent. I want you to be a little independent. Don't rely on a man. Now, I want you to find a good husband. That's what I really want for you. And Lauren has got a great husband, got 2 great grandkids. Awesome. I love them. It just didn't work out that way for Shelby. I would tell you, Lauren ended up being a Tennessee State Trooper.
Oh, wow.
And our son is a law officer now. I'm thinking, so we can sarcastically say, what happened to Shelby? Well, that's a great question. I don't really know. Look, I can blame Woodbury, I can blame Murfreesboro, I can blame Cannon County, Rutherford County, I can blame all that. But Shelby's to blame some here. She's the one that made the decision to do this. I never got a phone call from Shelby saying, Dad, they're forcing drugs on me. So I know they was willingly doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really know. I don't understand. Me as a person who's never been an addict, I don't understand when you get so high and so messed up, what makes you go back? I don't like to be like that. I like to know where I'm at, in control of what I'm doing. I don't know. I don't understand that.
How long do you think she was living in addiction and substance misuse with the opioids?
I think. I think when she moved out of the house, it got bad.
How long?
She moved out. She graduated 2011. She moved out on the morning after she graduated.
Okay.
And the thing about Shelby is she turned 28 in December. Oh, excuse me. She born on 28th of December. She turned 18. Well, we had to get her to May to graduate. And she come on her birthday and said, "I'm moving out." I was like, "No, you're not. Shelby, I have to get you through high school. I feel like as your parent, we owe that to you. We have to do that."
She wanted out.
She wants out now. And part of me got it because when I was 18, I wanted out. I want my own freedom. I want, so I got it a little bit. The thing is, Shelby is a lot like me. She was a lot like me. So I'm telling you, from December 28th to graduation was a long 6 months.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying every day, but.
And so then she moves out. She turns 18, moves out.
Yeah. And, when she first went out, we didn't see her a ton. We didn't see her much. The first thing that happened that got our attention is she called one morning and said, "Hey, I had surgery last night." What? I mean, we hadn't heard from her in I don't know how long, but she wakes up, she calls and said, "I had shoulder surgery last night." So me and Rachel go to the hospital to check on her, and the surgeon calls us into a private room. He said she did have shoulder surgery, but that's not her problem.
Oh.
They had to do surgery on the back of her heart because the drugs had ate her heart. It was tearing her, I said a valve, I don't know what a valve was, an aortic vein or whatever. He said, everybody's heard if she wouldn't have been here today, she'd have been dead tomorrow. I don't know that for a fact, that's just what he said.
Yeah.
But it was pretty serious. And he said the shoulder was minor, caused by drugs, but the heart was the problem. So thankful she was smart enough to go to the hospital and figure that out. Now, I'm a ball person, I'm a sports person, and I always think there's strikes. I'm thinking, hey, look, Goldor's trying to get your attention, Goldor's trying to get your attention. And Shelby had several episodes, I'm like, golly, I think that'd be rock bottom for me. But it wasn't for her.
She just kept going.
She just kept going and going and going. And look, I tell addicts, you have to understand what your triggers are. What makes you do what you do? Is it your area? Is it your friends? Is it your cell phone? You have to understand what makes you want to go there and do that.
And why? Is it to cope with something, to mask something, or is it because you think something's more fun?
Yeah. And I think it was people that knew Shelby would party with Shelby later would tell me, if we were partying, Shelby had to do more than anybody. That's just her competitive nature was that. So what I thought was good growing up turned out to be bad when she used it against me or herself. I'm like, Shelby, this is gonna hurt you. And I'm like any other parent. Me and Rachel are like any other parent. Shelby, you're gonna get something. I'm telling you, you don't know. I know what I'm doing. No, you don't.
How long do you think she was prescribed the oxy?
I don't know that we revealed it. I don't know. Okay. I don't remember. Whatever that was, 30 pills or whatever that was.
Yeah.
There's enough to take her.
To get into addiction.
Yeah, and I probably had 28 left, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, so really like two months worth of.
Yeah, and it just took her to, like I say, I can't remember when she had the surgery, but she still lived at home for another year after she had that done. So I didn't really know. So I'm not saying that she was always hooked on oxy, but I think she had to find something to help her.
Yeah.
Whether it be marijuana, whether it be something, I don't know. I don't even know what's lower than that. I don't even have any idea. I think, if you want me to tell you the truth, I think oxy's probably easy to get on the street. I think it's probably pretty easy. Knowing I know more about the law and drugs than I ever cared to know about today. I didn't care nothing about it. Never thought about it.
Well,
wasn't in our.
Until it's on your radar, it's something you don't even think about.
Right.
And if you haven't been around the population, and then it usually takes a very traumatic event one way or another, and your eyes are open. My mom, she was diagnosed with terminal cancer when I was in middle school, and she survived the cancer, but came out with a horrible opioid addiction. And several years ago, she died of, I was told, heart failure.
Yeah. Well, this is why I tell addicts, if you don't get your life clean, this is always the inroad. That's just the truth.
It kills you.
Yeah. And I think every family has somebody. If it's not in your immediate family, you know somebody, or has a cousin, or has an uncle, or has an aunt, every family has something they know somebody dealing with. I just think that. It seems to be true everybody I talk to.
I was at a meeting with the community, and they were trying to vote in a detox center in this community, and there were people that were really against it. And someone got up and they said, you know, everyone's got one person in their family. And this woman behind me was real snarky, and she's like, not in my family. And I go, that you know of, like,
right.
Or yet.
I think this, when Shelby's early years, I think Rachel and I done a good job of hiding it from, not our 2 other kids, but my parents, her parents. We just kind of kept it on the down low. Hey, we're trying to help her, we're trying to deal with it. But then when the stealing comes in, she's stealing from grandparents, she's stealing like, holy moly, Shelby, I can't defend you, you know, like, how do you defend that? I'm not going to defend wrong, you know. So, and the first thing that got our attention to the stealing is my grandmother, my dad's mom, lived in town. And I'm the only one that's in town a lot. My dad's a truck driver, he's on the road a lot, so I had a key to my grandmother's house to go check on her and stuff like that. Well, she had got dementia and moved up to Kentucky with my aunt. And they were moving some stuff in and out, and my uncle calls me and said, hey, did you get grandma's TV? I'm thinking, what do I need with that TV? But I didn't think nothing about it at the time. I'm thinking, wonder why he would call and ask me? I don't know what happened to that TV. And just one day it hit him, I said, wait a minute.
TV
I got that
sold.
key to grandma's house.
Yeah.
So we go over to grandma's house and we find the box up in the garage. And it's got a serial number. Well, I just go to the pawn shop, hey, you got this serial number? And they had it. And there was one of Shelby's friends that pawned it. So I knew right away, well, I have to call my aunt and uncle and tell them. Hey, I figured it out. And so, of course, I go to Shelby. I said, Shelby, you broke my trust. You knew I had grandma's key in the cabinet to her house. Not only did you go there, you took your friends there.
But a lot of folks, they don't understand what dope sick is.
Right.
And I didn't either. My mom, she was going through a withdrawal when they started cutting the prescriptions down. And she was so sick one day, but she had been so mean, that I really didn't even really want anything to do with her.
Right.
And her partner, her spouse at the time, drove her, I had a bakery up north, drove her up to the bakery at the side door and was like, hey, your mom is really, really sick. They're taking her pills from her. And she said the only thing that would make her feel better is you. But she had been so mean to me, I wouldn't go outside and talk to her. And I looked outside the window, and like she was just hanging her head like this. I mean, she was just so sick, she couldn't hardly put her head up.
Yeah, I can remember Shelby coming to the house one time, and she was sitting in a chair about like this, and she was just, I said, what are you doing? And she thinks she's awake, and she's not. Yeah. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm watching TV. I said, no, you're not.
Yeah, she's dozing out.
Yeah, she's just, and look, you talk to people who has sober living houses and detox centers trying to go in places, and look, your community would be surprised how many sober living houses are in your community. I think it's just people living there.
Yeah.
And I get the fear of some people having them. Some neighborhoods don't like them. I get it a little bit, but that could be your son. That could be your daughter one day.
Not only that, but it's like, actually a sober living house isn't a bad idea to have as a neighbor, because you're like, at least you know that they've got rules. Yeah. Because your other neighbor, you might think everything's great over there, but for all you know, you don't know what's going on.
Every house has issues. Every house has problems. It's just the way it is.
It really
maybe not major, just everybody's got their own problems. Every family's got problems. But for Shelby, I don't know. I just never got. As your daughter, you're like, man, how did we get here? How did we get here? And like I say, when she moved out, she didn't come around a ton for a little while, and she got in some trouble, had to go to court. And the first time Shelby went to court 3 or 4 or 5 times. I don't even remember.
How many times did she go to jail? Do you know?
Oh, several.
Yeah.
And so the first time she got put in jail, they come to our house looking for her. And she said, we're looking for Shelby. I said, she don't live here. And they said, do you know where she stays? I said, I do know where she stays. All right, and Shelby would tell you this if she was here. My dad can find me in 30 minutes. I kind of kept an eye on her.
Yeah.
She's my daughter. I'm not going to turn her out. But I also wasn't a hovering parent. I'm not going to sit there and tell you how to run your life. I'm not going to do it. I don't do it with my other 2 kids. I didn't do it with her. And so I knew about where she was staying. I knew where she was staying. So I told them. I said, okay, we're going to pick them up in the morning. Pick her up in the morning. I said, okay. Didn't ask what she'd done. I didn't. Wasn't none of my. This is between the law and Shelby.
Yeah.
But me and Rachel go to a Christmas party that night, and we're leaving the Christmas party, headed back home, and the Cannon County Jail calls, and it's Shelby. They picked her up that night. Of course, Rachel, she's tore up, and we got a daughter in jail.
Yeah.
So
this is the first time.
This is the first time, and I tell you, I know the exact day. It was December the 14th, 2013.
Right
so
before her birthday.
Yeah, it was 2000. It was she's been in high school 2 years now. First time she went to jail was 2 years. So I'm saying we kept getting worse and worse and worse. Now I'm not saying when she moved out it was like this. It kind of like that. We had a couple of ups and a couple, just roller coaster for a little bit. But I said, just tell her we'll come see her in the morning. So we go to the jail the next morning to see her, and the first thing she asked me is, "Are you going to get me out?" And I said, "I didn't get you in here."
Oof.
Shelby, if it's my fault you're here, I'll get you.
Yeah.
I don't know what you did. What'd you do? Stole. Well, you can't steal.
Yeah.
And so we go to court. I say she. I went not to be in her business. I went to as her dad to say, Shelby, I'm right here.
Yeah. Say I'm here for you.
So when they get her a public defender, they speak. And I didn't know what they were talking about. No, it's not really my business. I'm just here to keep an eye on my daughter. And so she calls me over. She said, Dad, what should I do? I'm like, what are your choices? She said, I can go to jail. And I think the sentence was 1129. I'm not for sure what the sentence was. And, or I can go to a 28-day rehab. And I said, I would probably choose the rehab.
Right.
Because as her dad, I'm thinking, you need help. You need help. Now, I would tell you sitting here today, I'm not a big 28-day fan. No. I'm not.
It's so short.
I think it's a get out of jail free card.
I'm down with the plea deals, but I'd like to see ones that.
Yeah, I want to help you. I want you to understand that the courts, your lawyers, they're trying to help you.
Yeah.
But now you cannot keep doing stupid stuff because your deals go away, further away.
Well, it's you need more than a 28-day.
Yes.
When you get to that point, you need a 28-day, maybe initial, something that's really, really intensive, inpatient, and then from there, a transitional home.
Yeah.
And from there, it's a long journey
it's a long
with a lot of maintenance. And even when you're done with all those programs, you probably need to stay in counseling.
Yeah. Well, so this is what happened. So I took her down to Bradford and Madison, Alabama.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying it's a bad place. If you're wanting to get sober, that probably help you.
I like Bradford.
Yeah. So she goes there, and I tell the look, when we got there, Shelby was mad. She did not want to go. And so I sarcastically tell her, I said, Shelby, it don't make me any difference. We can go back to Murfreesboro, and you go to jail. It's your call, Shelby. So she said, all right. So she goes. And I tell that lady working there, don't put her with somebody weak, because she's bullheaded. She's strong. So we go back for the 3-day family, visiting and stuff. And we go down there. They said, you can have lunch with Shelby first. So we have lunch with Shelby, and look, she's as mad as the day I dropped her off. Now, she's just coming out of some detox, and she's angry. Hey, she talked rough about that counselor. She did not like her at all.
Oh.
I mean, so we go talk to the counselor, and she said, did you have lunch with Shelby? I said, yeah. She said, did she say anything about me? I said, oh, yeah. She said, do you mind telling me? I said, no. You want me to tell you the truth? She said, yeah. I said, well, she said, you're a fat lying bee.
Ooh.
And that girl started crying.
Oh.
And so I got to, I said, give me your supervisor. So I talked to the supervisor in the hall. I said, look, I told you don't put her with somebody weak. She's done ate her lunch. Shelby's mentally whipped her.
Yeah.
It's a mental game. It's a spiritual game we talk. It's a mental. Shelby will mentally beat you down. So she comes out there, the day she gets out there, she calls us and says, don't come get me, my boyfriend's coming to get me.
Oh, no.
So I knew right then that ain't work. You know what I'm saying?
Did she leave?
Yeah. Well, she got her 28 days.
She did her
was
28
out,
days.
and her boyfriend went and got her.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, every boyfriend Shelby got worse and worse and worse. And I use this demonstration is, I could line up 100 guys in a room. 99 of them be great guys.
She'll pick the one.
She'll pick the one that's not worth a flip. I'm like, holy moly. But now, my word was always a dirtbag. That's just what a dirtbag. But until my wife said one day, she said, have you ever thought it's your daughter? No. I've never thought it was my daughter's problem. I thought it was the guys bringing her down. Maybe not. Maybe Shelby, So it opened my eyes a little bit, think a little bit different about Shelby. Surprisingly, my wife told me that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because Rachel is as nice as you could.
Yeah.
For anybody to abuse my wife mentally or physically, I'm like, I know she didn't deserve that.
Yeah.
She is so nice and so polite, and so I'm like, Holly, how could anybody? I don't even talk mean to my wife. You know what I'm saying? I never have. So for somebody to say that, I'm like, for Rachel to get on somebody, I'm like, wow, I guess I better start thinking that way about Shelby. But we went through some more rehabs and some more all that, stealing and stuff. And what happened is the day that started me getting, got me angry at Shelby, is we come home and Rachel was missing some jewelry. And Shelby and her boyfriend at that time, their plot was, if they stole from our side of the family, he pawned it. They stole from his family, she pawned it. It just made them feel better about each other. So me and Rachel had been married 25 years, 20 years, and I bought her a new wedding band set.
Oh, no.
And Rachel was putting her jewelry up one night, and that wedding band set's missing. And so we went to every pawn shop in Murfreesboro. And I would go in, me and Rachel go in, and I'd say, anything Shelby Jordan pawned? Do you have anything he pawned? And so we go to all these jewelry stores. We go to this one. I said, anything Shelby pawned? Nope. You got anything he pawned? Yep. Well, they bring that wedding band set out. Hey, my wife broke down right there.
Yeah, that had to.
It broke my heart to watch my wife go through that. What do you want me to say? I can't defend Shelby. I can't defend anything. I can't say anything.
I mean, you love your wife.
Yeah.
You love your marriage. You love your daughter.
What them bands stood. And I tell the guy, I said, I want the bands back. He said, you want to buy them? I said, no, I already bought them.
Yeah.
He said, well, I said, you have to get the law here, I guess. And he said, well, we'll have to prosecute them. I said, you do what you got to do. It's not. So I say I kind of sent her to jail, but they did. I just made a choice. That's where we're going to go.
Yeah.
And so we got with Shelby. I said, Shelby, you're so stupid that was going to be yours one day.
She's not living there,
she's not,
though.
I would tell
like,
people,
she's living for...
She's the addict life. So I tell people this, from 0 to 16, 17 years old, that's our daughter.
Yeah.
18 to 26, I didn't raise that kid.
Yeah.
Now, there's spurts of my kid in there. You know what I'm saying? We had some times in there, yeah. So she goes to jail, serves some time, because this is like her second or third charge. There's no plea deals going on anymore.
Yeah, the courts have seen her.
Yeah. She, you're going to jail and you're going to stay a little while. So that's one of them episodes that just happened. You're like, I can't believe we got a 22, 23-year-old daughter in jail. I cannot believe this.
Yeah.
So anyway, she gets out of one of them deals and she comes up pregnant. Now, as her dad, it's kind of embarrassing for me to say I didn't do it, but we don't really know who his dad is.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing because I know she knew better. I'm not saying out of wedlock marriages don't happen and they're not wrong. I'm just saying to not know. What do you mean you don't know? Is it 5 different guys, or is it you didn't know the dude at all? What? And the truth is, it was done in a drug deal. Nobody had any money. So
we see this a lot.
Yes, and it's so heartbreaking as your parent.
I consider that human trafficking.
Yes, and so I'm thinking, and me and Rachel are thinking as her parent, golly, she is so messed up right now. Her life is so in shambles.
She was in serious bondage.
Oh, yeah. And so for the baby's sake, we let Shelby move back in.
Yeah.
And so she moves back. Well, actually, she didn't want to tell us. She told our oldest daughter, and then Lauren told us. And then when Shelby come over around, it was getting close to Christmas. She said, I got something to tell you. I said, we already know. We already know, hon. I want to help you.
Yeah.
Look, abortion is never part of it. We don't think that way at our house.
Right.
I didn't know what we were going to do, but that wasn't the answer. And so we're just going to try to work on it together. And so we're trying to figure it out. And Shelby asked me, said, well, what do you want, after you find out it's a boy, what do you want to name him? I'm like, Shelby, I didn't get to name y'all. Don't ask me. I had no choices in y'all. So, and that's not true, because I did name our Shelby and Ryan, our son. I got to pick the middle names. So
Rachel picked them.
Rachel picked the main name, and I got to pick the middle name. So anyway, I said, I don't know, Shelb. I mean, I really hadn't thought about baby names. She said, well, I want to name him Jason. Now, the backstory is my little brother who died was Jason.
Okay.
And so I told her, I said, I appreciate it, but call Grandma Janet and Pawpaw. That was their kid.
Yeah.
And she did. And they both loved the idea. She said, but I want to name him Jason Cash. You like Cash? I said, I love Cash. Now, at that time, 10 years ago, there wasn't very many cashiers. There's cashiers all over the place now. It's just one of them names that kick on, and everybody's got one.
It's a really cool name.
It is. So I loved it, so that's what we went with. And I jokingly tell people that's the last thing we ever agreed on. But anyway, she's living with us, and things are okay, you know what I'm saying? But I work at home. And about 11 o'clock one night, I hear the back door ding. And I thought, what in the world? And I know Rachel goes to bed early. I know it ain't Rachel. So I get up and go downstairs, and she's trying to leave. And I grab her and put her on the couch. When I say that, it wasn't a, hey, Shelby, let's sit down. It was not like, I wished it would have been, but it wasn't. And I see some headlights in the driveway. I knew it was fixing to go down.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it gets a little heated, and I said, Shelby, somebody has to fight for that baby.
Yeah.
And I guess it's me. I will do it. I mean, I'll whip the world for it. It don't make me no different. So we have a rough, from that time on, it got a little rougher until Cash comes along. And the day she had him, there's pictures of me standing next to her bed just petting on her. Because that's my girl.
Yeah.
That's my daughter. And she's struggling here. So, but there's 2 or 3 things that happened in Shelby's life before that. I'm a ball person, and I think, well, she just did the heart thing, didn't get her attention. I'm like, I don't know what you got to go through to do that. I don't understand that whole feeling. I don't get that. So she has Cash. Now, we're nervous about is he clean or not. We're a little nervous about all that. But he's clean, so everything gets calmed down a little bit. And she lives with us for a little bit of time. I say that because she got in some trouble when she was pregnant. And that's why she come to live with us. She got a little trouble. And the courts put her on a furlough. They didn't want her in pregnant. They didn't want her in jail pregnant.
Yeah, it's a liability.
Yeah, so her lawyer, first of all, her lawyer was her public defender, and we ended up hiring him because I got tired of this public defender, just give me that guy.
Some of those public defenders, they really care, and they're good. They got a
Josh
great...
Crane is the best.
Okay.
I love him. I mean, I done a podcast with him a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
But
I think I saw.
Anyway,
I think I've seen that.
so I don't even know where I was at. So we go to, she's in a furlough, she has Cash. Part of her deal was if we could find a 12-month rehab, that would be her jail, which was, like I told you earlier, better than 28 days.
After the baby's born.
After the baby's born. So Cash is 3 months old. And we find a place in Chattanooga called Cicadas. And it was really a cool place because when we got her down there, it was a cul-de-sac full of duplexes that all had single moms, all had little kids. And so if when Shelby got a job, she worked, one of them girls watched Cash, and vice versa. If they're working, she watched their kid. I thought, man, I can see where this is going to be great because, man, they're helping each other. They learn how to be moms. They learn how to rely on somebody to kind of help you a little bit, your babysitter and stuff like that. I thought, this is going to be great. This will help her. Gives her a chance to bond with her son, Well, Christmas comes, and Cash is 6 months old, and they called and said, Shelby can come home for Christmas. 12-hour Christmas
She's
day.
going to pass.
Yeah, so we live an hour and a half from Chattanooga, no big deal, I'll go get her. So I got up early and went and got her. We had a great Christmas day. Some of our pictures on our slide and thing at home is still with her that Christmas day. Great picture of her looking at Cash, and Cash, they're both on the floor like this, and they're looking at each other. One of my favorite pictures. But then we take her back that night, everything was everything a good day. It was a good day for us. Cash's first Christmas, we're all excited, first grandchild, everything's good. They call and said, hey, Shelby's got a free weekend pass back to Murfreesboro. No supervision. I was like, oh, I don't know if she's that strong. I don't know if she's there. I'm saying, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I did not want to be the Debbie Downer dad all the time. I didn't want to keep beating her. You're not ready. You're not strong. I didn't want to be that way all the time with her. I'm like, man, this is what they do for a living, I guess. I didn't like it, but I went and got her. She come back to the house. And she said, can y'all watch Cash while I go to friends?
Ooh.
That was Friday. We didn't see her again until Sunday. Barely enough time to get her to Chattanooga.
Yeah.
And so I knew it wasn't good. I knew we got problems. And so when we get her back to Chattanooga, Rachel and Shelby and Cash are getting out, they're getting the baby out of the car, and some extra Christmas presents she left at the house we took down. I didn't get out of the car. Now, I probably look like a jerk. But I was so mad.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get out of the car and prove that I was a jerk. I just wanted to sit here and stew. So, but it crossed my mind to ask Shelby, if you got anything that'll get you in trouble. But I didn't ask her because I didn't want to be that dad. I want to say, hey,
just let her.
you just had a free weekend. Who am I to say what you did? Because I didn't want to argue. You think I'm always doing,
Right.
I didn't want
You
that
don't-
argument.
You don't trust me.
But the way things went down, I kind of knew she didn't do good.
Yeah.
And look, they're fixing to drug test you. You're coming back off free. They're going to drug
Exactly.
test your butt. But I didn't ask her, so I just let it go. Next morning, 6 o'clock, we get a phone call.
She didn't pass.
Shelby's OD'd. They found the needle and the spoon on the kitchen sink. The phone call said this. The phone call Rachel got was, come get your grandson. Shelby's OD'd and she's unresponsive when she left here.
Oh my gosh.
Now, Shelby has sat Indian style on a couch so long it killed about every muscle in her leg. She had to learn to walk again. Said the baby rolled around the floor all night long. Just, he's 6 months old, he can roll and stuff like that. So we went and got cash, talked to the lady. She said, when Shelby left here, she's unresponsive. I don't know if she made it or not. And it wasn't she was cold-hearted about it. She was just being frank. I don't know. So we go to Erlanger, and she's made it.
Okay.
And for me, that's a rock bottom place.
Yeah, you would think, okay,
for
now.
Me, and so in my mind, I'm thinking, maybe this will help her. Maybe she'll start figuring stuff out. Hey, you're about to take your own life.
Yeah.
Of course, she gets kicked out, and we have to go back to court because this is part of your sentencing. This is your deal, And Shelby was, and you hear, if you listen to Josh Green podcast, he was her lawyer, and he said Shelby was so nice and so polite, and she was all of that. Not always to me and Rachel, we're parents, that's fine. But if you talk to her in public and you ask her about stuff, she was so nice and so polite and so kind. So it kind of reassured me, Rachel, look, she was raised right. She knew right and wrong. She knew all that. So it goes back to court, and I don't remember exactly how it went down, but she made a deal. If we could find another 12-month rehab, she could do it again. I thought, man, that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
So we called Cicadas, and they think the same thing about Shelby. She's super sweet, super all that. So they agreed to take her back without the baby. Yeah. She had to go to the high rise with all the other women. And I'm honest, I'm like, I really didn't want to raise a baby. I didn't want to, but I will do it. Yeah. Mostly I'll do it because my wife said we were going to do it.
Right.
Not really what I was thinking in my life, but Rachel wants to do it, we'll do that. And I want to help Shelby. I want to try to get her through it. So Shelby goes there, and it's a year-long program. They call 11 months in, says Shelby's got one more class to do. She graduates from there.
Okay. So she's
now
at
she's
the 11
earned her car
month.
back.
Okay.
She's earned her job back.
Job.
She's earned some free weekends in Chattanooga to run around. She earned all that back. And they called and said, one more class, it's in Murfreesboro. I thought, oh my goodness. Murfreesboro's driving me nuts about this, But who am I? She'd been there a year, and we'd go down there about once a month for visitation, take cash and see her mom. Maybe every the weekend we'd go. Because I didn't want to break that bond, mother-son. I wanted her to keep that bond.
Right.
So, but when she come back to Murfreesboro, I don't think she ever went to a class. Yeah. Was back in trouble in no time.
As soon as she got back.
As soon as she got back in trouble. And so I tell people, you got to know what your triggers are. You have to know. Look, we all have cell phones nowadays. Me personally will tell you it's probably the worst thing ever invented. But if you work with them, it's the best thing to help you get out of the office. So you don't have to sit in the office all day. So that's what I do with mine. But I can see where there's a lot of problems.
Yeah.
And I would tell Shelby, your problem is your community, your friends, and your phone.
So maybe she had moved away.
Yeah. Well, she called me one time and said, Dad, I want to move to Florida. Shelby, I'll move you to Florida, but if you're going there looking for drugs, you'll find them. They're there too.
Yeah,
they're in every
everywhere.
community. They're everywhere. You're not. If that's what you're going to do,
you'll find
don't
them.
waste your time doing that. If that's what your goal is. So she gets back in trouble. Goes back to jail. They send her to the workhouse for 18 months. 18 months. I'm like, oh. Now we live right down the road from it, and we take cash there every Wednesday.
You say she went to jail for 18 months?
Yeah, workhouse. They ended up putting her in a workhouse so she could work it off. So we'd go every Wednesday, talk on that phone, look at that computer screen camera.
They don't have the windows like they used to.
No, you have to be on the phone, look at a camera. And so that was her life for 18 months. I was at Cash knowing his mom. We would go by the workhouse and Cash say, that's where Mama lives.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, he's 2 and 3 years old. I'm like, that's right. That's true. We didn't tell him it was jail. You know, we didn't tell him all that. Just, yeah, that's where Mama stayed.
Mommy's working.
Yeah, Mom's there. You know. So, but like we were at every graduation, whenever they opened the doors for stuff, kids, parents and stuff, we were there.
Yeah.
We were there every time. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know. She got to make some friends in there. And the lady who helped me started doing this, her name is Rhonda Rush. It turned out to be a super friend.
Oh, I follow her on social media.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
I'm starting to make the connections now.
Yeah, so Rhonda Rush, at the time when all this is going on, she gets out before Shelby, like a month before Shelby. Well, when Shelby gets out, she's hanging around Rhonda. My attitude is, well, she ain't no better than you. She's older than me, and she don't do no better. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what Rhonda was doing. Shelby didn't tell me Rhonda's trying to be in recovery period. She didn't tell me all that. If she would, I'd have pushed her towards her.
Yeah.
But I'm like, truth is, I'm talking bad about Rhonda. I don't really know Rhonda. I know what she's done. Like, when we'd go there for family day, Rhonda would sit at our table with Shelby. I'm like, here's this lady older than me. Who is she? You know,
What is she doing?
yeah, why is she sitting with us? Anyway, look, I think the world of Rhonda Rush. She's one of my rocks. I mean, she's one I call if I got a question or a hard problem. Doing this kind of work, some people tell you some stuff and some hard questions. You're like, Ron, how do I respond to this without being a jerk?
Yeah.
What do I need to say? I mean, I know what I want to say, but I know that's not right. So tell me the right wording or how do I need to do this? And she is super at it. She is super. But I don't know. And Rhonda, she would tell you, she worked hard with Shelby. She did. She worked hard on Shelby. Tried to. Just didn't work out. Shelby was in trouble in no time again. She was in trouble in no time again.
After the 18 months at the workhouse?
It was no time. She's back in trouble. I'm like, holy, what are we doing? So some things happened between that time and her passing away that I'll just go through some highlights. One thing that happened was Shelby got my car. Me and Rachel were out of town. And not that she couldn't drive my car. That's fine. I didn't care. She had her own car. I don't know why she was in mine. But she rear-ended a truck, a wrecker flatbed, and went flying through the windshield. Never touched a brake.
Wow.
Never touched a brake. And me and Rachel were out of town, so I have to call my dad. I said, Dad, can you go check on Shelby? And he said, son, I thought she was dead when I seen her. Had blood all over her.
This is like near death number 3.
Oh yeah, near death number 2. Yeah, well, the heart thing. I didn't really think you just heart, but the truth had to be right. Heart, OD. Now we're in the middle of a road through the windshield, and so I'm thinking, I don't know what to do. I just don't know. So the funny thing is, Shelby would laugh at later. She's like, when they took her to the hospital and got her all fixed, well, she just went home with my parents until we got back in town. And Shelby would say, that was a long weekend because you're dealing with what I dealt with. You know what I'm saying? Papa's a little more stern than Dad is. Look, I was raised out of fear, and that's just how we were raised back then. I didn't raise my kids out of fear. I wanted them to come talk to me.
Yeah.
Come tell me what's going on. Let me try to help you figure life out. Because that's the way times have changed. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying for the good or bad. I mean, I can go. I can fight both sides of it. But that's where she was at with it. So things go on, and some things happen with Cash. I was going to a basketball game one night, and I sarcastically said to my wife, I'm going to take your car. And I said, no, because Shelby had Cash in town doing stuff. And this time she had him. I mean, this is your kid. She would stay at places and girlfriend's house and stuff like that. I didn't really know where she was at. And not that it didn't bother me. It did. We thought about it like, oh boy, where's he at? But we were trying not to be overbearing parents. We were trying You
didn't want her to run from you.
Right, don't run, but where are you taking him?
Yeah.
So some things happen. So Shelby calls me. I'm on the way to the basketball game. And I tell Rachel before I leave, look, I'm not going to take your car because something stupid happened. You'll have to go get the baby. I was just joking. I was just being sarcastic. But that's just seemed like it happened all the time. So I'm headed to a ball game, and Shelby calls me. And I answer the phone. She is screaming and crying. I finally get her comment. I said, where are you? She said, I'm at the Exxon across from Wendy's on 231, which is a drug area.
Yeah. And
so I said, just go and get the baby and go in the store. So I get to the store and I walk by her car and I notice the back window's kicked out of it. So of course the cops are there and I have to call Rachel and say, hey, come get cash. I don't know if Shelby's going to jail again. I don't know what's going on here yet. So Rachel comes, gets cash, and I tell her, just go back home. I'll take care of this. I'll figure it out. Because I think this. I think daddy's and mama's hearts are different.
They are.
And I think God made it that way because Rachel was a good cop, I was a bad cop. And that's okay. I'll take that role. So Rachel, you go back home and let me handle Shelby here. So after we get everything squared away, there was nothing she had to go to jail about. So a lot of questions are asked, why is the window kicked out? And stuff like that. Look, we all know. So we're standing in the store and Shelby said, why are you mad at me? And I said, Shelby, you don't understand why I'm mad at you when you had my grandson in a drug deal? Shelby, the window's kicked out at him. The glass is in his seat.
Yeah.
They don't give a crap about you. But if they can get to him through you, they're going to use him to get to you. Why ain't your window kicked out?
Ooh.
They wasn't after you. They're after him. You just watch the news, Shelby. You'll see a kid shot in the back of a car in a drug deal.
Yeah.
You don't understand why I'm mad? And I told her, Shelby, look, I'm just done with all this. I don't understand what you're doing. Why are you putting kids in harm's way? I don't understand why you're doing that. Well, it just seemed like a little bit later, Rachel was home with cash by herself, and she drops a can of Coke on the floor, and she picks it up upside down. Well, every can's got a dip in it. At 3 years old, Cash says, Mama puts fire under that.
Oh, no.
So that let me know that he has seen it.
Yeah.
And so the next time I see Shelby, I let her have it about that. I said, Shelby, I couldn't sit down and explain that to him. He would have no clue what I'm even talking about. He had to see it. I said, I'll tell you something else I think. I think something goes on because if something gets loud, if it's me and Rachel with him, and it gets loud or hectic, he'll run behind us. Today, he's 10 years old, and he still kind of does that. Things get hectic. So he's been in some places where she had to shove him behind her. I said, Shelby, you're going to keep messing with me about this, and I'm gonna have to take custody of him. I can't let you put his life in danger. I can't do that. As a dad or a grandpa, whatever you want to call it, I can't let you hurt him. I can't do that. And the people you're taking him by, they're going to hurt him.
Yeah.
And you're going to be messed up and not know, or take him. You're messed up and they just take your kid and sell him. I don't know who you're dealing with.
Well, or the state gets involved.
All of a sudden you're messed up and you're somewhere and the state just takes him. Because they think me and mom don't care because we're not involved in it. Yeah. That couldn't be further from the truth. So I told her, I said, if I hear of another thing, see you with so, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm upfront about it. I'm just telling you, I can't let it go on. I just can't. I'm so fed up with it all. Well, Rachel calls me, says, I seen Shelby come out of the truck stop. The drug dealer's driving, which is her boyfriend, and she's in the passenger seat. So I called her. I said, hey, Mom said she's seen you. So-and-so's driving. Yeah, I'm giving him a ride. I said, you're not giving him a ride, Shelby. If you're giving him a ride, you're driving. You're just dropping him off. That's not what's happening. Y'all are out doing stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, before I called Shelby, I told Rachel, go to our lawyer, get emergency custody of him. Now I'm getting you up to the weekend of Labor Day weekend of 2018. And the reason I know that is our son was a college football player. He's starting quarterback at a college in North Carolina. It's his opening weekend his senior year. And we're all going to go. And so Thursday, we've done that on Wednesday. They ain't heard from Shelby because she's mad, anyway, she calls Thursday and said, Dad, what time are we leaving? And so I get in the bedroom and I get Rachel in the bedroom and I put the phone on speaker and I get on my hands and knees and I'm talking directly to the phone because I want her to hear me clearly. And I said, Shelb, before we go, there's something I got to tell you because I don't want it on my mind. I said, we went and got mercy custody of Cash. From that moment on, she didn't talk to me. She talked to my wife, like a dog. Oh. Called her everything. And I'd periodically say, Shelby, that's Mom. She's not going to hurt you. You know Mom's on your team. You know that. And she'd say something else. And I'd say, Shelby, you're talking to my wife. Now you're about to cross the line with me. And so it went on. Finally, she got mad and just hung up. And so I consult my wife, and Shelby calls back. And so I tell my wife to leave the room. And I answer the phone, and I talk to her the way she talked to her mother. When I got done, I said, Shelby, now you need to know this. That's just words. You know I love you. You know I love you. I didn't do this. We didn't do this to hurt you. I want you to focus on you and not worry so much about the baby. We got the baby. You work on Shelby. I will help you where you let me help you.
Yeah.
You're welcome to come to our house any time to see him. I'm not going to stop. I'm not trying to where you can't see him. That's not what we're doing. I'm just saying you're not taking him anywhere.
Trying to protect
Yes.
Cash.
You come to the house anytime. And she did. She'd come to the house quite a bit. I'm not saying she avoided him. I'm not saying that. Now then, me and her we just rubbed each other wrong for a while. I was the bad guy. I'm saying that, and that's fine.
Yeah.
So I kind of stayed out. Well, she'd come over and visit me. I'd go to my office and do some things just to kind of not irritate her. I didn't want to irritate her. And so.
Well, you probably wanted her to
Yeah, I want you to
keep
be
that
with your son.
relationship.
I want you to be out in the yard playing with your son, playing and kicking the ball. And they did all that. So that happened for a while, gets us through Christmas and stuff like that. And Mother's Day that year, I used to say Mother's Day to Easter, but I'm pretty sure it was Mother's Day. She come out to the house. And she called and said, hey, I'm coming out to see Cash. It's Mother's Day, and I wanted to come see your son. You know, it's Mother's Day. Come see your son. And come see your mother. So Rachel says, do you mind staying out here with us? Because she acts a little better when she's here. She's not so rough with me. That's okay. So I stayed out there with them, and it was a good visit. I mean, I'd say something here and there, but I kind of stayed away from the conversations. And so she's getting ready to leave, and Rachel and Cash walk her out to the car. And it wasn't a few minutes, Rachel comes in crying, saying, can you go out there and talk to her? She F-bombed. She just F-bombed me left and right out there. And I tell people, look, when I went out there, I wasn't in a good mood. Mm-hmm. I wasn't. I wasn't in a good place with any of it. I was still angry about everything. And that's what I try to tell people. If you knew what your parents go through, if you knew the heartache and the worrying and look, some of the best rest we ever had was when Shelby was in jail because we're not worried about her tonight.
Yeah, at least
we're not
she's
worried about But
not
Shelby
on the streets.
Yeah, she'd get so messed up, and she'd call in the middle of the night, arguing and fighting. Midnight, I'm like, why are you calling us for? I'm coming to get Cash. I'm coming. No, you're not. No. I know where bedroom he's in. I'll just no. So now we got to put him back in bed with us to make sure that don't happen. So she comes out Mother's Day, and she F-bombs Rachel. So I go out there, and I'm not happy. And she's sitting in her car with the door open, and I'm pointing at her. And I'm yelling at her, Shelby, this is you. Quit blaming me and Mom. This is all you. Fix you. You got to do it. I can't do it. You got to do it. She comes out of the car wanting to fight.
Oh.
She doubles up at me. I'm like, what? So she swings. I thought, man, alive. Part of me can't believe this is where we're at in life.
Yeah, it probably didn't even feel real.
No, and so I'm thinking, if she swings again, I'm going to bust her. I'm just going to bust her. But then I had enough time to think, man, if I beat her up right here, she'd go to town and tell all her friends that my dad beat me up, and that would be true. And I don't want to be that guy. Yeah. But I did think to myself, I said, if she swings again, she's going to pay a price. She's going to know I don't like it. When she swung, I just open hand slapped her, and she went to the ground. Now, when she went to the ground, I was on top of her with my fist up. I said, Shelby, you don't understand my anger. Yeah. You don't understand this whole deal, Shelby. And so I pick her up. It just
takes such a toll.
It's just, I'm so angry and I'm so built. I don't know what to do about any of it. And as a dad, as a husband or whatever,
grandfather,
I don't have any answers for anybody. I don't know what to do about any of it. And so, but I pick her up and I dust her off and I'm hugging her and I say, Shelby, I love you. You don't understand. You're one of my pride and joys. You're it. And so I said, just get in your car and get out of here. And she said, you can't make me do anything. So I shove her in the car. Now, what else can I not do, Shelby? And so she goes down the driveway, calls Rachel and says, I'll bring my boyfriend, I'm gonna bring him back out of here. And I said, that'd be good. Bring him on out. Bring the ambulance with you, because that's how he's gonna leave. I'm not saying he's the problem. He's not the help. He's not helping any. And so she asked Rachel, she said, Mom, do you think Dad can beat up my boyfriend? She's like, Shelby, you don't understand your dad. You're misreading your dad here. And I'm not saying I'm a big, tough, I'm not saying that at all. But the anger inside of me is so bad. And I can feel me turning into not a good person. I can feel it. I'm just not a good guy
Well,
anymore.
anger can just really...
Especially with her and everything we're dealing with now. Every time I seen her, I just got infuriated. You know?
With frustration,
Yes,
and I don't
but
even know
you're
what to
not listening.
do anymore.
We got a baby involved.
Yeah.
You know? So that's where we was at with it. And that was in Mother's Day. The last time I seen her alive was Cash's 4th birthday party. And she come and she was a good day. She was clean looking, nice, sweet, laughed and cut up. It was all of that.
What month was that?
July. He's born in July.
Okay.
And we had it a week after his birthday because we were out of town on his birthday.
So a couple months later after
Yeah, well, we
Mother's
had,
Day.
his birthday's July 21st, we had it the 28th. Okay. So I had family, and we went to some urban air jump trampoline place where we was at, public place. She brings her boyfriend, a new boyfriend at this time. And I didn't appreciate the way he looked. I thought if you're gonna come to a public place to meet her family or whatever, he's wearing basketball shorts and a wife beater t-shirt. Looked like he hadn't showered in a month. I'm saying just wild looking.
Yeah.
And the problem I had with it, Shelby at this time is 26 years old and he is 41. That's my problem with him. Look, obviously you ain't got your act together, but my problem is you're taking advantage of a young girl. That's my problem I have with it. So I go in the bathroom and he's in the toilet side and I'm at the urinal side and there's a wall between us. And it crossed my mind to lock that door and beat him up. It crossed my mind. But I thought if I do that, when I unlock the door and walk out, I got big problems.
Yeah.
Now I push Shelby further away.
Yeah.
I'm not here to try to push her away. I'm not. We're having a good day. I don't want to turn it into a bad day. We got all kinds of family members here. It's Cash's. Everybody comes to a baby's birthday party. 4 years old. Everybody's coming.
You don't want to end up in like a brawl.
Right. I don't want to have a brawl in a public place. I mean, I'm not. I'm not looking for a fight.
Like, my bad.
And I would tell Shelby, I'm not looking for a fight.
Yeah. I'm just fighting for you.
I'm fighting. So the boyfriend before that she was going to bring out, I said, look, if I really wanted to beat up your boyfriend, Shelby, I see him walking around town all the time. He lives behind the post office where my business is post office. And so me and Rachel go to the post office one day, and he's standing probably from me to that street sign right there. And I said, call Shelby. And he's on the phone. I said, he's talking to Shelby. He's waiting for her to come get him. I know what he's doing. So Rachel calls her and said, hey, Dad wants me to know if he wanted to beat up your boyfriend, he could do it right now. He don't know that we're this close to him. He has no idea. And so when she hangs up, I watch him, and he turns and starts looking. So I knew you were talking to Shelby. I get out of the car, and I just point at him. You're not my fight.
Yeah.
You're not who I'm not after you. If I was, I'd have walked out of the car and just got you. I'm not after you. I don't want to go to jail over you.
Yeah.
But, so I didn't. But the new boyfriend, I'm like, oh boy. And it just seemed like every boyfriend got worse and worse and worse. It just seemed that way. And I think that's right. People would know or tell you, I think that's right. But 3 weeks later, Shelby was gone. 3 weeks. Had no idea. The last words I ever said to Shelby was, hugged her and said, I love you. If I can help you, call me. I don't know how to help you anymore. I don't know what you're doing.
I mean, what better words?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
To be the
I
last.
don't know. So the week she passed away was God's grace on me and Rachel, our family. Rachel had gone to Texas for real estate stuff, and I was home by myself with Cash. And I would give Rachel a hard time, like, yeah, we already raised 3, I can do another one. Nope, I'm just having a good time with Rachel. And I would send pictures to Rachel or on Facebook of, hey, me and Cash are at Hardee's this morning because Mimi's not here to cook for us. And I'm just,
Yeah,
we're going to have to eat all the
having fun
time.
with it,
We're going to have fun with it. I'm wearing Rachel out about it. And Rachel calls Tuesday night. And I said, have you talked to Shelby? She said, no. I said, okay. It's not weird that I hadn't talked to her. Kind of weird Rachel hadn't talked to her. But Shelby also knew Mom was in Texas this week doing real estate.
So you didn't think much of it?
She didn't think much of it. I said, well, I think I'll call her in the morning because this is Cash's first week of playing sports, football. I said, I'm going to go get his cleats tomorrow and I'll go get a mouthpiece. Whatever he wants, we're going to get it. If he wants all the swag, we'll do all that. I don't care.
Cool.
So we're going to do, I said, I may call Shelby see if she wants to go with us because this is up her alley.
Right.
And this is her boy. She's going to be excited. He's going to play. I wake up Wednesday morning. I just didn't feel like I needed to call. I didn't call her. I didn't call her. She died that day. She died that day. Now, I didn't know she died that day. I was at a cookout that night, and my friend Terry says, are you okay? I said, I don't know. Something feels off in my world, but I don't really know. Rachel would tell you that I always had a sick sense about Shelby. I just had a sick, like,
brother died. He died, self-inflicted wounds, suicide.
Yeah.
There was something so unsettling, and I couldn't describe it.
Yeah.
And then right after I found out he had died.
I knew what it was. So I'm like, I don't know. I mean, something just feels off, but I don't really know. So Rachel comes home on Thursday night. Friday morning, about 7 o'clock, she gets a text from Rhonda Rush and said, "I'm so sorry." So Rachel calls her and says, "What are you sorry about?" She said, "You don't know?"
Oh, no.
Know what? You don't know Shelby passed away Wednesday? And so I'm in our bedroom coming around the corner. Our son is home from college. And so when I come around the corner, I see him hugging his mom.
Oh.
And I pointed at him, I said, "It's Shelby." I said, "Yeah."
Oh.
I knew it. I said, "I knew it Wednesday." I didn't know that I knew, but it was Wednesday. So I'm standing there, and Cash said, "Uncle Rai, why did G-Daddy be me crying?"
Oh, no.
So I get in the chair and I sit him on my lap. I said, "Hey, bud, Mama had an accident." That's all I could tell him.
And you had just found out, what, moments
10
before?
minutes ago.
10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And then you had to go tell.
I mean, I got to explain to her 4-year-old son that Mom's no longer here. I don't know what to say to him. About being the dad and the husband and stuff, I don't know what to say to any of them. I don't know what to tell y'all.
Yeah.
I don't know other than...
her Shelby's mom's there, brother, her baby.
Yeah, I mean, I got them all right here. And I'm like, I cannot believe this. So it takes a little while for it to get in. You got to get yourself calmed down and think, all right. So we lived in Woodbury for 20-something years, and I got to know Corey Gilley, who runs the Woodbury Funeral Home. And I had a good friend of ours call her and said, "Corey, Shelby's passed away. They don't know where she's at. Can you help us find her?" And Shelby had some tattoos. She had a big, long cross on here. And said, "Love never fails." So I said, "That'd be a marking you'll know. It's big." They found her in Davidson County in an unknown tow mark. They had no idea. Had no identification on her at all. And so I tell people this. I said, Shelby didn't do everything right. But she died in a homeless tent area on a concrete floor in a bathroom, public bathroom. The guy she was with, who I met at her birthday party, left her. Didn't call nobody, didn't tell nobody, didn't do anything.
She overdosed, he left her dead,
Yeah,
and
he went there and
bounced.
seen her and left.
How did Rhonda find out?
It was all over Facebook.
Okay.
If I would have looked at her Facebook page, I'd have known Wednesday.
Yeah.
It was the rest high, fly high show. It was all of that stuff on there. I never looked at her page because I didn't care about anything on there. And at that time, I wasn't a big Facebook person. I didn't really care about Facebook. It wasn't my big deal. So if I'd have read it Wednesday, I'd have known Wednesday. But the last thing Shelby posted was to the extent of something like this. "I know my dad loves me." I told her all the time, "Shelby, I'm on your team. I want to help you. You're not letting me." And so I just think she never figured out that, and not just Shelby, I think it's addicts in general, that when they get messed up and they get in that world and they get to thinking, and it's not really them thinking, I understand that. Look, the people that will help you is your mom and dad. They care about you more than anybody. Now, have you burnt some bridges with them? Have you just lost some trust? Have you done? Yeah, you probably have. But when you get serious about getting better, they will help you.
You can restore that over time.
And I tell them all the time is, look, the one thing that's hard to get back more than anything is trust. You got to work on that. That don't happen overnight.
No.
But what will happen is they'll try to figure out how to figure out. I said, look, when you're an addict and you're going through detox or you're going through a rough day, and you want some patience and grace, you deserve it. You're going through a rough time. Let's be patient with you. That's fine. In return, when you're having your bad moments, don't lash out at mom and dad because they need that same patience and grace. They don't know how to deal with you all the way. They don't know what you're doing. They don't trust what you're saying.
The support, it's very exhausting on the support.
That if I could get you to understand your mom and dad love you unconditionally. You don't want to, look, no parent wants to be where I'm at. No parent wants to sit in this chair and do this stuff. Nobody wants to do that. I don't want any parent to be in there.
But I commend you for going and talking and sharing, because it's a world that a lot of people don't know till they go through it. And it's like, what do I do? I love them so much, and then I'm angry, and then they're lying and they're stealing, and what is going on? But what a lot of people don't understand, it's not a lack of will, it's not a moral disease, it's an actual biological, there's an actual biological chemical things that are happening in the brain, and that's what, when they physically get sick, they feel like they're dying if they don't get more.
Yeah, and I just think, I think public don't really understand the perception of, I was there, so I got it too. I'm like, just quit. How hard can it be? Pretty hard. And Shelby would tell me in her sober days, she'd say, Dad, you'll never understand. And I'm glad you don't, but you'll never understand it. Okay, and that's fine, that is true. What I really don't understand is to tell you how much friends, communities trigger them. Because when Shelby come out of the 11 months, when Shelby come out of the 18 months, you went right back. So it tells me it's not all mental. You chose to go to that area. You chose to hang out with them people. You chose to make that phone call. You're choosing things you don't need to be. So if you have to change your community, if you have to change your friends, I would say 90% of the time that's correct.
Yeah, definitely have to change a lot of
you have
things.
To change a lot.
You pretty much have to build a whole new life with a whole lot of boundaries.
And change is not always easy. I get it. Change ain't always easy for a regular life, much less a new job, all that sometimes ain't easy to do. So as an addict, I can see where it gets hyped up more, but golly, you got so much at stake. And so I tell them, look, your life is worth fighting for. I can guarantee you 3 things. God loves you. I promise you that. Your parents love you. I promise you that. If you have kids, they love you. They may not understand you, but they love you and they need you in their life. Our grandson needs his mama. She's not here. I said, give me a friend to talk about cash. Here's a 10-year-old boy that don't have a mom or a dad. And me and Rachel, okay, if me and Rachel are mom and dad, then he has no grandparents. You can spend how you want to spend. I'm both roles. I'm trying to play both roles.
It's really hard to do that.
It's hard to do, and it's not fair to him because he don't have the luxury of going to grandma and grandpa's house and doing what the other 2 grandkids did. Hey, come and get you a juice drink. Hey, come and get that. That's what they come over and do. And when they're over with us, we let Cash have somebody like, hey, go hang out, go be a grandkid. You know what I'm saying? But what I stress to Cash about is he has dealt some tough cards early in life. But it's not a reason to act up. We got to fight through some stuff. We try to help him. We try to help. Hey, he struggles Mother's Day week. I don't know how to help him.
So, a parent, rewind it all. You first realize that your child is stealing your prescription. You just found out. What's the first thing? What kind of advice can you give to parents?
Don't be so angry with them. Let them understand. You have to understand there's a look. You have to understand they have a problem. They're developing a problem. You have to understand that anger is not going to fix it. Anger is, you're going to push them. I think you're going to push them away.
And shame. You don't want to shame.
Right. You don't want to shame them. Look, you have a problem. Let's help you with this a little bit. Now then, I will tell you this. I didn't handle everything right. I didn't know how to handle it. I learned more in the last 6 years dealing with it than I ever knew 6 years past her life. Figuring out, how do you do that? I didn't do some of those things. There's some things I said to her.
You didn't know.
I didn't know.
If there had been more support for the parents. So let's say hypothetically, when that doctor told you that, hey, don't worry so much about the surgery. She's got, the drugs are eating her heart. Maybe right then and there, if there had been some type of, hey, and this is where parents can get support.
Yeah. But and the thing is she wasn't coming around us much. And I would tell her, Shelby, I know you're up to something because you don't come around us. When you do come around us, we laugh and cut up like we always have.
Yeah.
So when you don't do that, I know you're up to no good. I already know that, Shelby. And one of her hospital visits, and I can't remember if it was that one or not, and I've never told this story. One of her hospital visits, she was in, she got so angry at the doctors and stuff like that, they had to put her down in almost like what I would call the crazy rooms. I mean, just so they call and we go over there, and me and Rachel are in the hallway talking to the doctors. And I see two little nurses go by, and they got this strap, they're gonna put her, hold her down.
Oh man, she's in trouble.
And I said, what are you doing? I said, they said, we're gonna take that strap, put it across her and hold her down. I thought, them two ain't gonna get it done.
Oh no.
Shelby's a strong kid. She, as a freshman in high school, working out with basketball and softball, she could bench 155. It was just, she was a strong kid. I said, hey, them two girls ain't gonna do it. And I was kind of, chuckling about it. Hey, they ain't gonna do it. And so he told me how serious it was with her and stuff. I said, okay, let me talk to her. Let me talk to her. Get them out of there. Let me go in there and talk to her. And so I just went by myself. And I sat next to her bed. And I said, Shelb, bud, you're in deep trouble. You're in some trouble here. You're in some medical problems. You got some medical issues going on inside. If you don't let them give you some stuff to help you, you're gonna die. You're gonna die. And so I had her nice and calm, you know what I'm saying, kind of, hey, let them give you a shot. Let them.
De-escalating everything.
You're not gonna, look, she's like me. If you think you're gonna ramp it down my throat, you're wrong. I don't care if it's good for me, you're not gonna do me that way. That's the way I am, so I got her. And Rachel told him, said, look, if anybody can calm him down, it's him. He can calm her down. It's just the smooth, look, I know she was hurting. I know she was scared. I know all that. I could see it in her. And so I go in there, I calm her down. And so I tell her, I said, tell him come on in. Tell him come on in, she's gonna do it. And so the nurses come in, we're gonna give her the shot. And as soon as that doctor stepped in, she hated that guy. She come up out of that bed wanting to fight him.
Oh man.
I'm like, dude, it's you. It's you. Well, they kick her out of the hospital.
Oh.
Well, she signs herself out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't say that. They don't want to deal with her. They wasn't going to do nothing for her. So I was like, talked her into going to another hospital the same day. She wanted to drive herself. Well, we had to sit there and wait on her to get there for 2 hours. I know what she went and did. You know,
Yeah.
I know. She come in messed up at the new hospital. And so we get to the hospital and they check her in and they had a note on her door. Look, hospitals talk to hospitals. They figure out what they're dealing with. So we go up there and they got a note on the door. My name, Rachel's name, her brother's name, and our daughter's name. That's when people come in this room.
Yeah.
So we go in there and the doctor and nurse are in there. They had a 24-hour nurse sitting next to her. I mean, she's out there. I mean, she was under, I don't know if you call it suicidal watch or whatever.
Yeah.
You can call it what you want to. I don't know. And the nurse was super nice and Shelby liked her. I mean, they could have conversations. Shelby didn't hate her at all, didn't we? Just talking. And we get in there one day, and then, well, me and Rachel were in there, the nurse was leaving us to have our private time with Shelby. And one of the other nurses come in and said, hey, Shelby says she's got some other brothers that want to come see her. And I'm sitting at the foot of the bed, I'm like,
No.
no, she don't.
Oh no.
On that list says Ryan, and that's her brother's name. And she said, tell them that so-and-so and so are my brothers. I said, Shelby, they're not your brothers. I said, I need you to figure out, they're not even gonna help you.
No.
They're not here to help you. Tell them no, they're not your brothers. One of them's nickname, they called him Pug. I said, look, Mom is not letting any of her kids be called Pug. I promise you that. You need to understand the rules. Mom ain't letting that happen. She named your name and that's what we're gonna call you. So anyway, a lot of things happened. And I understand now, first 5 years after Shelby passed away, I didn't like any addict. I thought they were a problem. You are a problem in our society. But I just started praying about it, thinking about it, thinking, wait a minute, here's the deal. Here's the truth about this is, addicts are not a problem in our society. Our society is a problem for addicts. And people like us have to help them get through that. Whether it be talking to them, mentally, giving them a doctor, get whatever they need to mentally get through it. It's not even it's a drug thing, but it comes to more of a mental thing. It comes to
Just walking around the building today and setting up, I heard multiple people share a little bit of their own testimony about people that they had in their personal life that battle with addiction. Multiple people were walking up, well, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, I've lost so many friends and to addiction.
Yeah, and so even me and Rachel being in this world, Rachel not so much me, not as much as me, but the people you talk to, like, oh, we lost our kid, oh, we lost our. So 2-3 years ago now, where we grew up at, well, where the kids grew up, we raised our kids. Across the street is an older couple, and they had 6 kids. And when I say older couple, their oldest one is my age. So, and they live next door. But anyway, they had, some kids. They lost a son at 42 years old. 2 years after Shelby, 3 years after Shelby, somewhere in that range. And so I'm on my way to do some work stuff, and he calls me, and he's crying. He said, Dennis, I'm in the same boat as you.
Oh, no.
And I'm thinking, what do you mean? And I was on my way. I mean, I was headed the totally opposite direction. He said, we lost one of ours, overdosed in a hotel room last night. Work was not important to me. I just turned and went straight to their house. Yeah. And at the time, Mr. Wade and them are probably, Mr. Alice is probably mid-70s. And I can get human with it and say, man, he was 42. I know he knew better. I know his parents. I know his other brothers and sisters. I know they know.
Had he been in addiction?
Oh, yeah, in and out of it. Yeah, in and out of it. So we're sitting there, and I sit all the afternoon with him. And I go back the next morning, me and Rachel go sit with him for a little while and just kind of talking through things, Hey, this ain't your fault. Hey, this don't blame you. Don't blame you.
Yeah.
Look, I'm sure y'all good people like us have done everything you can do. And so we're sitting there one afternoon, a couple of days. He said, when will it get better? Oh. I said, Mr. Wade, it don't. You learn to deal with it. It don't get any better. It hurts every day. I said, I don't have any good news for that. I know the good Lord will help you get through it. I know that the truth is this, when Shelby first passed away, I told Rachel this, and I don't even know what made me think it. I don't even know, but I think it's the truth. I looked at her and said, hon, here's the truth. Shelby's fight is over.
Yeah.
And so is ours.
Amen.
Now, I'd love to fight with her one more time. I would love to argue about something, but hey. But I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do for years. I didn't know how to handle my situation. I didn't know how to handle cash. I didn't know how to look, when it first happened, I'm like, oh man, I had just turned 50 and I've got a 4-year-old. Not at all the life I wanted.
No.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not, so I was bitter about that for a while because me and Rachel were empty nesters. We're 50. And we're still pretty young. We can go do what we want to go do. We can go do all this stuff.
A young child, and you're grieving at the same time.
Yeah, we got this little boy that we're going to have to get through life. And don't get me wrong, our kids are fine. I mean, they love him. They take him and do stuff with him. And it's the little brother my son never had. You know what I'm saying? It's just that, Uncle Rai-Rai's good for him, picks on him and stuff. So that's good. But man, I feel so sorry for the kids some days. I just look at him like, golly, he's never going to have a brother or sister.
So it's been 6 years?
Yeah, 6 years, just past 6 years.
When did you start sharing Shelby's story?
Last May. May the 2nd of last year. It's my birthday. I done it on that day so I would know when I started.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
The first place I ever spoke, so here's the funny story is this. So Cash plays baseball, and we pick up a couple players. One of the players we pick up, his name is Caleb. His dad is I call him the warden at the workhouse. And so when I seen him, he looked familiar, but I'm like, I don't know who that is. But I've seen him before, I just don't know who it is. Ball field, I don't know. So we just get to talking one day, and he said, hey, that's Shelby's boy. I said, yeah. He said, I have to work at the workhouse. I'm like, oh, I knew you looked familiar, I just didn't know. So we got kind of kindled, like he said, he just changed so much. When Cash was little, he had the curliest hair. Now it's just stiff as a board. I mean, got him one haircut and everything changed about him. It was unbelievable. Anyway, so we just become friends like that. And so we were at a birthday party, probably April of last year. And so it's just, we're dads. We're at a kid's birthday party, not really wanting to be there, just hanging out like dads do. And William, Bill, is older like us. He adopted Caleb. So, so we were sitting at a table. He said, hey, tell me a little bit about Shelb. I thought she was a great person. Tell me a little bit how she got where she was
This
at.
is the warden.
The warden.
Of the workhouse.
So I just kind of go through what I just went through with you. He said, you need to tell that story. Nobody tells it like that. Nobody tells the parent side of what's happening.
Exactly. You don't hear about that very often.
He said, will you come to the workhouse and speak?
I love it.
And so I said, Bill, I'm not a public speaker. That's not what I do.
She got a story.
Yeah. He said, it's not you. The words you're going to say is what you're going to hear. And so I went, and if you look on my Facebook page, way down there now, I done an interview with News Channel 2 about opioid crisis. And I put on a car show, and that's what got me the interview and stuff.
I saw the car shows that you do.
Yeah,
That's
so
cool.
I done that. So before I went on to talk that day, they played that whole interview. And I told him, I said, look, as hard as that was to do, it's harder for me to watch it. Because the emotion I get to is so, golly, I cannot believe we're here. And so when I started speaking, I just asked, the first question I asked was, how many people were in here with Shelby? I had about 7 girls and 3 guys raise their hand. I thought, holy moly.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm going to tell you is the truth. This is what happened. And so everywhere, I mean, I've been to, I think it's like 30 something I've done now in 6, 8 months, whatever I've been doing.
Okay, you stay really busy.
Yeah, I stay really, and my wife don't really understand it. She said that wouldn't help me, but it helps me. And my wife is 100% behind me. She's like, well, if you think it helps you, then you do that. I said, when you go to these places and you see these young women have babies, and they bust out bawling, you know you've hit their heart. I don't want them to think about me. They don't have to remember me.
So
they have to think about somebody said.
Yeah, and if it could work something,
Yeah.
get to someone.
Yeah, and maybe there's some Shelbys. I've spoken 3 or 4 people. I went to school with Shelby. Really? A couple ladies, I was in rehab with her. I'm like, golly. I was in the workhouse with her. So I probably met 10, 12 people like that.
Well, I specifically am praying that your story will get out to also help all these family members.
Yeah. Well, I would really, I don't know how to do it. We talked about this before we got on. Doing all this stuff is new to me. I would really like to go around different places and speaking with parents going through it.
Yeah, you could do a whole podcast
could do a
with
whole deal on
just the support.
This is what I think. This is what I learned. I'm not telling you what I read. I'm telling you what I lived. I think anger, because the shouting and anger, it never helped, not one time.
Yeah.
But at the time, I'm so angry with her, I don't know what else to do. But now I learned, okay, if I could have just, there's some things I said to her, some things I not made her do, but I think you ought to go this route. I don't know if I'd do that again. I don't know.
Parents, if parents watch this or their support or their loved ones,
Yeah.
and they follow your podcast
Yeah.
and they follow your journey,
Yeah.
and you're talking with other parents.
Yeah, so I spoke last night in Camden, Tennessee, which is west of Nashville.
I've been there before.
Yeah, so I spoke to a place last night, and there's some parents in there. And I didn't get the chance to talk to them, but I would really like to talk to parents after we speak and say, okay, because they may have done something that would help me understand, okay, I need to get this point across more. I need to get this. What did I say to help you? Or you think, I think this is more than that. Okay, maybe there is something more to it. I don't know. I don't know everything. I didn't go to college. I don't know how to study. I don't do any of that. I just tell you my life experience and learned what I should do and what I shouldn't do for us. Now, do I think it's a broad range? Yes. Do I think something I say can help you? Yes. Do I think anything you tell me to help me? Yes. I think all of that. But I think the meat and potatoes is this. Let your kids know you love them. You do not have to agree with what they're doing. But they must understand that they are loved, regardless. You don't have to support everything they're doing. But telling them you love them, I think, is so key. And if they know that, when Shelby was clean and sober, she knew it. She knew it. And I think, not so much the last boyfriend, the boyfriend before that kept her from us, because he knew
that she had real support.
He
and
knew
love.
that, hey, but, and I don't understand this. I can say this for Shelby, and I can say this I think for most young girls. Why would you let an older man beat you down? I don't get it. I didn't ever get it with Shelby because she was so hard-headed and so independent. I don't understand how she got that way. He don't know anything about anything, Shelby.
Yeah.
He don't even know how to deal with life. You know better. I know you know better. And some of my saving grace mentally is this. We had 3 kids. I don't know what happened to Shelby. 2 of them are law officers. I have no idea what happened to Shelby. Now, I would tell you this. We were in drug court one time with Shelby, and they're drilling me. They're drilling me, and the lady said this exact words. we've done the study, we've figured out you're Shelby's problem.
Oh.
I'm like,
What?
I am? I've never sold her a drug. She said, it's the way you raised her. It's the way you coached her. It's the way you done this, the way you done. I said, whoa, man, I don't know. So I'm kind of feeling like, maybe it is me. Shelby stood up and said, don't blame my dad.
Yeah.
She said, I know my dad loves me. He tells me all the time he loves me. I got a brother and sister. They don't have my problem.
Well, she had never had that prescription to begin with. I mean, it's very likely that,
I think
she would have gotten to a certain age, and but then sometimes it could be anything. It could be a party one night. It could be a prescription. It could be a boyfriend. And the thing is, it could happen to anybody.
Right.
Like addiction, opioid addiction does not discriminate.
Yeah, well, I tell people, drugs they're not a respecter of person. I don't care how old you are, how young you are, what color you are, how much money you have. I don't care about any of that. It does not care.
Every color, every socioeconomic population, every town.
Yeah. And I want to say this, my opinion, there's probably a drugs in every school.
Yeah. Especially with the gummies that they can bring and just put in their backpack.
And look, I got some friends that go to public schools. I got some friends that go to Christian schools. I said, I'm telling you, they're in private schools, they're in Christian schools, they're in public schools. They're everywhere. They're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
And look, these people are getting to your kids on purpose. I don't understand the draw. I never did understand the draw. I don't understand how Shelby got to that state, other than trying to be cool, trying to be.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of that.
Yeah, I'm trying to be the partier. I'm trying to look. We've all been 18 before.
Feels good. Yeah. You're having fun.
I'm out on my own.
Yeah, you let loose.
Yeah, my dad ain't gonna tell me tonight what to do. I ain't gotta go home and start. I was 18 too.
Yeah.
But I never get to draw love. I'm not a big drinker. I'm not saying I would never drink again. I just don't drink it. I couldn't tell you the last time I had a drink. Anyway, when I was younger, before we had kids, I was a drinker. Not an alcoholic, but I'd go out and drink like everybody does on Friday nights. Everybody says, man, I don't know how I got home last night. Now here's the truth. I know how I got home. My car's in the driveway. What I'm saying is, I can't believe I made it. Now then, I think some addicts, and Shelby would tell me, no, said, Dad, I really don't know what happened. I don't understand that addict. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be anywhere that I don't know what's going on or how it's. Now, I've had enough to drink to think I don't really care. It don't affect me.
I think it's that numbing, that
the numbing
escape.
And you've heard the stories. I gotta get that necktie. Gotta get that necktie. Gotta get.
Well, it becomes very actual biological in the brain. I listened to this guy. I forget his last name. I think his first name is Tim. He wrote The Addicted Brain, and he goes around and he speaks everywhere, and he explains biologically what's happening in the brain, the dopamine levels, and they can measure that, from cocaine to opioid, all the different things. And then he talks about when those levels start to drop, and your body has that physical response.
Yeah. And I think, I knew when Shelby went that 20-day herb, she was sick for the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, I bet.
They told me, she said, detox is one of the worst things you'll ever go through.
A lot of the girls, when they go into the jail, detox is very common.
Yeah, I'm like, I didn't to think I could get that sick. I was like, it's not who I am. And I say to tell you, that's not who Shelby really was. I think it took her life. I know it took her life, but I'm telling you, it took control of her life, 18, 19 years old.
Well, at first, you're taking the substance and you're like, oh, I control the substance, but no, then the substance controls you.
You're stealing, you're doing whatever it takes to get that back. Now, Shelby died of a heroin laced with fentanyl. Now, I will tell you this, Shelby went to jail a couple of times because she was not a snitch. She wasn't telling on anybody. So she just took the rap. She's the one that got busted. She took the rap.
Fentanyl is so much stronger than heroin.
Yeah.
They're putting it in marijuana and everything.
Yeah, they're putting it in everything. You don't know what you're getting. I would tell Shelby, you don't know what you're getting. I know what I'm doing. Okay.
Yeah, when someone's like, oh, I just caught my teenager, and they've got pot, and I'm like, okay, pot's one discussion, but the fact that there's probably fentanyl on it, that's a whole nother discussion.
I remember going to that first time we did it to a rehab down in Alabama. We're sitting in that circle of parents. And my mom across from me is just losing it. And she said, they asked her, said, well, what has your son done? I caught him with marijuana. And I'm thinking, really? We're here over marijuana? That was my attitude towards it. I'm like, you don't even belong in the group. That was my attitude towards marijuana. Now, I have to understand that that's going to lead to different things, more than likely. More than like that, you've heard the old saying, it's a gateway drug.
I've heard girls, there's one girl, she was talking about how she went into rehab and I think it was maybe alcohol and marijuana, but when they did her blood work, it tested positive for fentanyl. And she was like, what? She was like, I mean, she did not, never thought she was using fentanyl.
And so when I say when I told Cash his mama had an accident, I think that's the truth. I don't think she killed herself on purpose. I think if she'd known that was going to do it, she wasn't doing that. I think that's right. But that's what I try to tell people, try to tell Shelby, you're going to get something that you don't know. And that's what's going to get you. You're trusting somebody who don't give a rip about you.
Well, and they have fentanyl strips, but at this point, people want fentanyl.
Yeah.
But how much fentanyl can you handle? You don't know how to do that.
Yeah. Shelby told me one time the problem is when people OD out of jail, it's because they come out of jail trying to do what they did before they went in.
It's too strong.
You got to work yourself back up. I'm like, she knows more about this stuff than I wish she didn't know any of it. I don't know. I mean, I tell people, just because you made a bad decision does not make you a bad person. We have to help you with your thinking. We have to help you get through some stuff. Look, life's tough. That's not a good world out there.
No.
It's not a good world even when we were growing up. When I was a kid, you could run around the neighborhood, not worry about somebody picking you up.
This is a fallen world, and it's getting worse.
It's getting worse. It's not. I said the other day, we're fighting an uphill battle, and I think it's always going to be a fight. Uphill battle. I think it's always. Now, can we see some personal wins? Sure. But as the world goes, it's just.
Yep.
That's what I think.
Until Jesus
I want everybody to
back.
have personal wins. Get you a personal win. Get you a personal win. And there's some people that survived it, got out of it, that we know. Like, awesome for you.
What I love, though, the ones that survived it, a lot of times they'll reach right back in the trenches and help.
Well, a lot of these places, you go to these sober living places, recovery places, the people doing it, they were there.
Right.
And they know the deal.
There's value in that.
Yeah. And that's just them understanding how serious this problem can be on you.
Yeah.
And I've been to a couple places that, I absolutely love because I think they're doing it the right way. I'm not saying every place I've been to is not great.
Well, and not every place is for everyone. Like, some girls, they'll go to one place and they love it, and then someone else is like, can't wait to leave. I'm like, I need to find somewhere else.
And it's funny when I hate it here. Well, she loves it here. It's the same thing. I don't understand. You go over here, you love it over here. That girl didn't like it over there.
It could also be their headspace at the time,
and it could be, look, it's humans. People get involved, don't like each other. So I've asked a lot of places. Like I went to Chris Smith's place over at Alliance. I don't know if you know Chris or not, but y'all try to get him. He's a great guy.
He's my Facebook friend now.
Yeah, he's so good. You ever watch his reels where he gives a?
So I didn't realize that was him. I've watched his reels somehow, and then today I just made the connection. I was like, oh, that's that guy.
And what I told him when I went over and done his, we were talking on the phone, and when you hear him do his reels, the last thing he always says, "I'll see you guys out there." And so when he's on the phone, I said it to him, "I'll see you out there," and then he's like, "You got it, you get it." Right, I get it. Look, you, me, Chris, there's 100 other people that are trying to help y'all. They're trying to help people. If you'll just listen, if you'll just let us help you, if you'll just, look, help is not always financial. It's not. It's mental. It's just hugging. It's just a hug sometimes.
Showing up.
Yeah, be accountable.
Loving someone, letting them feel that love on you. And the hope with this podcast, today, specifically today's podcast, hoping that parents can feel support.
Yeah.
But overall, this podcast is to try to be the voice for folks that are re-entering into society, that society's labeled them or, struggling with mental health, especially the opioid misuse that's been fueled by, we started with the pharmaceuticals, but addiction, people didn't really talk about it a whole lot until it was the prescription drugs because it affected so many people in higher socioeconomic groups that people were like, oh, we should probably do something about this.
Well, I think it's, I think there's people that are prescription addicts.
Yeah.
And they don't realize that's what they are.
My mom her purse was like a mobile pharmacy.
Yeah.
I mean, she had liquid this and that, and she had so much of it.
Yeah, you're like,
I can't even believe a doctor.
Yeah.
She must have been going to like several different doctors.
Yeah. Well, I guess they call that doctor shopping. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
well, and she was an RN, so she knew how to talk.
Yeah, she knew the words, she knew the lingo, she knew. And so we lost Shelby. And so I had to call my parents. I told you I lost my little brother in 1975. I knew what it was going to do to him. I knew. And my mother, I love her, but she can't handle stuff like that. She can't handle. So when my brother passed away, my little brother, I was the only kid home. I was 5 years old. My older brother was at school. My sister was at my grandparents' house. But I remember waking up to my mother screaming.
Oh no.
That when she found him, died of crib death. Nothing, just SIDS. It just happened. But I remember that scream. And so when I had to call her about Shelby, that's the vision I had in my mind of my mother. Oh. So I called my aunt who lives close to her. I said, hey, I need to tell Mom something. Can you go over to her house?
Yeah, you don't want to do that over the
I know
phone.
her. She's not mentally going to be well. And she said, and my aunt was nice. She said, you want me to tell her? I said, no. She needs to hear it from me. So my aunt called me. She said, all right, I'm in the driveway. I said, okay, I'll give you a few minutes to get in. Then I'll call her. So I called her. I heard that same scream. I was like, man, I knew it. But, so I want people to understand, it's not just your mom and dad. It's life. Your grandparents love you. I called my dad. The thing about it is, when I think about my dad, rough, tough, he's 74 years old now. I'm 56. I'm still scared of him. Mentally got me whipped. But I called my dad. And my dad works for me. He works for himself. We do work together. How about that? I got the loads. He moves the freight. Anyway, I called him and said, Dad, are you empty? He said, yeah. I said, don't go get that next one. What's going on? I said, Shelby passed away. He was 7 hours away. I seen him in about 5 hours, 5.5 hours. Took off 2 weeks to be with me.
Yeah.
I mean, I can just remember being at home when family comes over and consoling you. And I can remember being at the funeral home. No matter where I looked, he's right behind me, wherever I looked. So I knew that I sent him back. Boom, we're in 1975 again.
Yeah.
And so if I get people to understand, it's not mom and dad. We're not, you don't always like your mom and dad, I get it. But think about the whole family. You're changing. Look, we just went through Christmas. Went through Thanksgiving, went through Christmas, go through Shelby's birthday. It's a rough 6 weeks around our house.
Yeah.
It is a rough 6 weeks. I'm not saying every day is like, phew, I'm not saying that. But when your family comes over for Thanksgiving, you have my daughter, her husband, her 2 kids, got my son, got my wife, got my parents, got Cash. How'd Cash get here?
Right.
She's not here.
Well, every school event that you go to, every permission slip that you sign
it. Every Mother's Day year, he's got to fill out do Mother's Day stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And so this happened when he was 8 years old or so, 7, 8, anyway, one of them years. He's just being hard to deal with that week. I know what the week is. He's being hard to deal with. So when I tell my wife, when you go get him from school today, when you get him home, I'm going to take him for a ride. I'm just going to ride through the country and just talk to him, because I didn't want to sit him in a chair and me tell him, hey, quit acting like. I didn't want to be that. I didn't want to be demonstrative to him. I just wanted to talk to him and understand I'm not mad at you. So that dude is a Mimi guy. He's not going anywhere without Mimi. Mimi's got to go. But I'm thinking, how am I going to get him? So I said, hey, let's go get some ice cream at a local creamery that makes it.
Yeah.
We'll go get some homemade, not homemade, but it's good ice cream. It's a creamery. I said, hey, Cash, you want to run up here and get some from Nash Family Creamery? Mimi going? No, just me and you. He's like, okay. I said, we'll go get it and come right back. We ain't got to stay there and eat. We'll just get it and come right back. About 20 minutes from our house. I get him in the back of the truck and I buckle him all up. We're going down the road and I said, hey, buddy, does it bother you your mom's not here? He cried all the way. And I'm not talking about tearing up. I'm talking about crying. We get to the creamery and I get out of the truck and I clean him up, get some wipes and wipe his face off. Go in and get the ice cream, head back home. And I said, buddy, I'm sorry, but there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do for you.
Yeah.
I'm as sad as you are. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know other than me and Mimi will do our best. That's all I can promise.
I know some other parents that have lost their child from overdose, and they're raising the baby, and it's like you said, it just affects so many people.
Well, as frustrated as I was when she got pregnant, today I'm so glad I got him because it's still a part of her.
Yeah.
I'm not going to see when he laughs and when he smiles. It's her. I got a couple pictures on my phone of him being a catcher, and she was a catcher sometimes. That he turned around and looked at me at a ball game, and he looked just like her with that mask on. And so I made him turn around again so I could get a picture of it. Hey, Cash, look at me again. Boom. Got it. Never mind, we're good. I didn't want to say, hey, you look like your mom. I didn't say that then. I did when we got home. Hey, look, this looks just like your mother.
Well, my camera's probably running out of space. Is there anything?
Look, if I'm talking to addicts, know that you are loved. Mm-hmm. Know that your parents love you. Know that God will help you. Follow him and ask him for help. He will help you. Your parents will help you when they figure out you're serious. You have to be serious about it. And know that if you have kids, they love you. They don't understand you, but they need you. Cash needs his mama. I wish he had her. If I'm talking to the parents, be as kind as you can be. Be stern and don't be used, but be as kind as you can be about it. It's not easy. Watch what you say. Don't drive them away from you. That's hard. I understand that's a fine line. I understand that. But I understand that the more you can keep them around you and not drive them, the better they're going to be. Yeah. They will understand they do love me. They do love me. If you're a parent and you have their kid, don't use that as a tool. Don't use that. Don't use the kid as a tool to get to them. Don't do that. I never used Cash as a tool to get. I didn't. If you don't do that, you're not seeing. I never. Don't do that to them, because that's their kid. It's not your kid. That's the one. To me, if Shelby was still here, I could, in a lack of a better term, I could use Cash to make it. I'm saying I could say, hey, look, Shelby knew the rule. When we went to court to get Cash, the judge told her, when you get Cash back, you don't have to come to court. Your dad knows. I knew her better than anybody. And she understood that we're not going back to court. When I think you're good, you can have him. I'm not releasing him to some drug addict.
Yeah.
But if you're good, you can have him. I want you to have him. But I'm just telling you, hug them every time you see them. Let them feel your love. It ain't always words. It's the hug.
Yeah.
It's the touch. It's the feeling that, man, I love you. I love you. Let me help you. I want to help you. I would give Shelby, let me say this, I'll close with this. Some addicts think my parents don't love me because they won't give me any money. Money is not love.
Correct.
Love is not money. It's not the same. It will never be the same. Just because I love Shelby too much to give her money to go buy drugs. Now, if she was hungry, I'd take her and meet her for lunch. If she needed some gas in her car, I'd meet her at the gas station. I would do that. When I'd meet her for lunch, she'd try to eat some of it and take some of it with her, and I wouldn't let her do it. Sometimes I think I'm right, sometimes I think I'm wrong. I had the feeling that she was taking and feeding her drug dealer boyfriend, and I'd make her throw it away.
Yeah.
I'm not feeding him, not here to feed him. Most of the time, she'd finish it.
Well, Dennis, I appreciate you coming
Well,
on.
I appreciate you having me. And I think me and you are on the same road. We're just trying to get the word out that, hey, this world is not good.
And I appreciate you making the drive and sharing your story. It's been a bit emotional. But moving forward, I know that you've got the car show. And so, people can follow you on social media to hear about the car show. And that car show raises money.
Yeah.
So
in 4 years, we raised $100,000.
And Dennis goes everywhere.
I go away. I'll do nothing.
and he just volunteers his time and and he has to travel, and there's a lot of expenses with that. But his goal is just to get out there and help people by sharing his story. And I'll be praying about your podcast.
Well, thank you.
I'll help how I can if you got questions. And I've recently had to figure out a bunch of editing things. And
well, you got all nice stuff here. I don't have any of this.
well, Amazon, a little bit of Marketplace.
Yeah, I got you. I just, I don't even have a tripod like you got over there.
Oh, well, I've got a few. I like the tripods.
Yeah. Well, the circle cameras, I think my wife does have one of them.
Yeah, and then I've got these. Yeah. I like my lighting.
Yeah.
I noticed.
So this is, I just look. We both have the same goal. It's a bad world. Let's help who we can help.
Yep.
And who wants help? You have to want it. You have to want to help yourself. So that's where I leave it with it. I enjoy doing it not to a fault, but it helps me. It helps me deal with my daughter. To me, keeps her memory alive for me.
Yeah.
Because I can picture. Look, we talked about some bad stories with Shelby today. On an average day, they don't cross my mind. Think about the good times we had.
Right.
The 26 years of playing ball, watching her give birth, dealing with her brother and sister. Man, I can go back when they were 9, 6, and 3.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think about them years. They were so fun for us. Me and my wife say all the time, but if they could get back to 9, 6, and 3, I would stop right there.
Right.
I loved them, man. I loved to watch them bicker with each other. I thought it was fun, But then you go to high school years where our oldest was a cheerleader and Shelby played ball and Ryan was a quarterback. Them were great years in our life.
Yeah.
So just know that you're loved. Addicts, I want you to know that you're loved. If I can help you, if my foundation can help you, come to our car show June 7th in Lebanon. It'd be fun.
And what's the name of the foundation?
Let's see here. Foundation is Shelby Jordan Foundation, the Shelby Jordan Foundation.
And you can find
You can find it on Facebook.
You can find the
Yeah.
Shelby, what was it? Shelby?
I tell you, I'm not a big Facebook person, but evidently I am. I'm changing one because I have 3 Facebook pages. My personal page is Dennis Jordan. The foundation is the Shelby Jordan Foundation.
Shelby Jordan Foundation.
And then the car show is Showing Off for Shelby.
Showing Off for Shelby.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we do all 3 of them. My personal
Murfreesboro.
In Murfreesboro. Well, the car show is in Lebanon. We outgrew the places in Murfreesboro.
Oh, cool.
So we have it at a place in Lebanon at the Ag Center Fairgrounds.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to put that on my calendar.
Yeah,
So
June 7th.
I'll probably see you
come
in
out and hang
June.
out.
Okay. Well,
We'll be
thank
there.
you.
Cash will be there. It's funny how our car show world, a lot of people come. They want to see Cash every year.
All right.
How's he doing? How's the boy doing? But you'd be surprised how many car people, like you said earlier, how many people, I lost a daughter, I lost a son, I lost a. And that's why they come. That's why the first year we did it, how I got started doing it is, and you can edit this out if you want to. Michael DeLeon of Steered Straight, he goes to school and talks to vaping, drugs, and stuff like that. Rhonda Rush introduced us together, and he said, "Can you help me raise money?" I'm a car guy. I put on a car. I go to a lot of car shows. So we did. Our first year, we had 178 cars.
Whoa.
And I was like, we raised like $21,000. Like, holy moly. And so the next year we had one, had to move it to Sunday because it rained on Saturday. We had like 209. Then the next year we just kept it on Sunday because like Sunday's the day to have it. Had 430. And then the last year we moved it back to Saturday, and we shouldn't have done that, but we did. And then we had like 213. And but there was 5 other car shows around us on that same Saturday.
Oh,
so that kind of took our crowd down a little bit, yeah. So this year we moved back to Sunday.
Yeah.
We're going to keep it on Sundays.
Right on.
Because it's about raising. We raised over $100,000. I donate all of it. I don't, Now, today, well, not today, but we spoke to our board. Like I donated $5,000 to this place, $5,000 to this place, whatever. But our board said, why don't we keep some money back, one, for next year's startup, and for your travel expenses.
Yeah.
So it kind of helps out a little bit.
So you donate to other housing programs?
Yeah, housing programs, 12-month rehab houses and stuff
awesome.
like that. So there's a lot of places I donate to, and I would love to get so much money built up. I'm looking for partners to help me. I need people to believe in what I'm saying and what I'm doing. But I would love to go speak. And if the Lord led me to believe, hey, give them some money, give them $1,000, give them whatever to me, that would be such a blessing to me to watch them.
Yeah, to go into a facility,
And they're
share
not
the
expecting
story, and
anything. They're not
then
expecting
drop
nothing.
a
Yeah, here you
check
go.
for
Here you go.
$5,000.
Here you go. I felt like the Lord told me to do this tonight. I try to have my heart open to the Lord. I'm not saying I'm the best Christian ever. I'm not saying that at all.
Well,
But I'm saying is I'm trying to pay attention. I'm trying to figure this out. Every day's different. Some days I'm like, do you even know what you're doing? You know what I'm saying? And some days you're like, you got it. You're figuring it out. And some days I'm like, I'm lost as last year's Easter egg. I have no clue. You know, just going through it. But anyway, I think it's, I don't know how to do a podcast. People want me to do a podcast. And I had one guy does Nehemiah's hands. And he said, I was talking to him. I said, man, I don't know how to do one of them. He said, I said, how do you get a following? He said, oh, dude, you already got the following.
yeah, you already have a following.
I'm
man.
like, how do I know I have a following?
You have a following.
Yeah, but so I look at the foundation page, and there's 1,000 people on there already.
And it's just going to grow and
Yeah,
grow
I'm like-
and grow.
And so I asked people when I go speak. I just started this yesterday. Really, I go, look, if you would please, if you think something of it, you don't have to agree with everything I say, but make a comment where people understand that it's helping people. If I can get people to start seeing that.
If people comment on it,
Yeah.
then it'll get out there more,
Yeah,
and the message that you have, you can support more people.
Yeah, look, I just want to raise money to give them money. Look, for lack of a better term, I told one guy, I said, I just want to be the middleman.
Yeah.
And I'm going to benefit. I'm not benefiting financially. I'm benefiting
In your heart.
in my heart.
Yeah.
When I see a young lady crying, and for some reason, I guess ladies, single moms, hit me harder because that's what Shelby was. Now, I've had one girl up in East Tennessee, Elizabeth, which is a long way up there.
Yeah.
I went up and spoke one night, and I got done. And you know how when you get done speaking and you're talking to people, and you see this one standing over here like, oh, she's needing something. So I go over to her. I said, "Can I help you with something?" She said, "I just want to tell you, I am Shelby. I'm the same girl. I got a little girl that my parents have." And the advice I gave her was, fight for you, then fight for that baby.
Amen.
Fight for you. You're worth fighting for. My parents, and she said my parents took my baby. I said, hang on, let's don't blame parents. I understand what you're saying, and I understand your anger towards your parents. I understood Shelby's anger towards me. I understood it. I understand she was going to be upset. I said, but they're trying to help you. You just don't see that yet. I promise you they are. Look, your parents don't want to raise any more kids. I promise you.
Yeah.
When you go to